$20.1 degrees, 20.1. And the starting mileage is 28744, 28744.
Hey YouTube, it's gentlemansnine. Just going out for a little ride. Yesterday my wife had taken her Honda Civic to the Honda dealer in a nearby town. And she got angry at the service person because so she just went there to get a light bulb replaced, a fuse replaced, and then an oil change. So that shouldn't cost very much. But the service guy came back and said that she needs to see the brakes need to be bled and all the brake fluid replaced, of course, and she also needs the transmission oil changed. So she was very upset, and I don't blame her, because in the previous oil change, which we went to a different town for, she got quoted the same thing. Bleed the brake lines and change the transmission oil, which she did because she said she didn't know, and it was at 100,000 miles. So she did it, but you know, obviously it came out to be like $300-400, quite a bit. But it doesn't make any sense 5,000 miles later to do the exact same thing again at a different dealership. And the dealership says, well, here, look at the fluid and all this other stuff. And she got very upset because she said somebody's lying to her. Either the previous Honda dealer didn't actually replace the fluids, or this Honda dealer is asking her to change the fluids even though they don't need to be changed yet. But we've been actually swapping back and forth between these two different Honda dealerships because, let's see here, the last time I went to the previous dealership, they did the same thing to me. They wanted me to breed my brake lines and change my transmission oil, which I did because it had been 30,000 miles, so that's fine. But when they asked me to give them a rating, I gave them like a 0, because I said I walked in for an oil change and I came out with all these extra bills. Whether that was right or not, I don't know. I was not happy though. So, let me give you the other story from the dealership that Jenny went to yesterday. I also too have a Honda Civic, and I bought it brand new at this dealership. At about 10,000 miles, I had taken it in for an oil change, and they told me that I needed my transmission oil change. And I don't know about you, but it seems questionable to me, but I'm like, well, it's new fluids, I don't know, this is fine, do it. So they changed the transmission oil. At the 20,000 mile mark, I took it back in for my second oil change at that time, because I did one at 15,000, here's the next one at 20,000. And they told me the exact same thing, I need to change my transmission oil. And I said, well, how does this make sense? What exactly is the maintenance schedule for the transmission oil? And I asked to see the fluid, and well, it's back in the service bay and you're not allowed back there. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, where in the service manual does it say I had to change the oil, or the transmission oil, every 10,000 miles? And the guy turns around, he points up at this big sign, and it says, Honda recommends transmission oil change every 10,000 miles. And I said, that's just a sign. I need to see it in like the service manual. Because I said, I looked in the owner's manual, and the maintenance schedule is not there. And well, that's what Honda says. And I'm like, I didn't do it. Because I think something's ridiculous here. Because I used to have a Dodge Grand Caravan. So I don't know if anybody knows about the history of the Dodge Grand Caravan. They've had transmission problems. Basically, if you don't change the transmission oil often enough, following the maintenance, it's going to fail. So heavy usage, or whatever it's called, says on the Dodge Grand Caravan to change it every 30,000 miles. I changed it every 30,000 miles. So by the time we hit 100,000 miles, I changed it 3 times. And this is a Dodge with a known transmission issue, wherein the fluid, if you don't replace it, will cause the transmission to fail. And here we have a Honda, which is supposed to be ultra reliable, and it asked me to change the transmission oil every 10,000. Something seems wrong. And I don't know if you guys have had experience with Hondas do I really have to change the transmission oil every 10,000 miles? It seems highly unusual to me, especially given that I own the Dodge. And no offense against Dodge, I liked our Dodge Grand Caravan. I didn't really like having to change the transmission oil every 30,000 miles, but this Honda changing every 10 is ridiculous. And you know, you always hear about a Honda being low maintenance. Well, I think they're lying, because if anything, it's actually costing us more to maintain. So anyways, I don't know if you guys have any opinion about that. The customer walks into a pet store looking for an exotic pet. Walks in, looks around, and sees in the corner there's a green parrot. And asks the store owner, how much is that parrot? And the store owner says, that parrot right there, that green one, is $2,000. And the customer goes, wow, that's a lot. And the store owner says, well, you have to remember, this is a special parrot. This parrot knows how to type, and it can type really fast. And the customer goes, wow, that's really neat. Well, how about this blue parrot? And the store owner says, well, that one's even more special. That parrot not only can type, they can also answer phone calls and take notes. And the customer, all surprised, goes, wow, I cannot believe a parrot can do that. But $5,000, that's like a lot. Well, how about that red parrot? And the store owner goes, that red parrot is a very special parrot. That parrot is $10,000. And the customer goes, oh, that's unbelievable. What can it do? And the store owner goes, well, I'm not really sure, but it just sits there. And the other two parrots call it boss.
Ending mileage 28974. 28974.